Hello, and good morning to you. What's noon now? It's noon. 12 o'clock on the dot. Um, as soon as I woke up this morning, which was like extremely late, um, I hit my alarm clock, and I immediately received the message that we need to be careful about the words that we are speaking, to ourselves, to the universe, about our situation, about who we are, about who we want to be. We really need to be careful about that. And for whatever reason, be mindful of the words that you're speaking to yourself, and that you're speaking to God, and that you're speaking to other people. Words are very sharp. Words are very sharp, especially if you're not present, and if you're not really aware. Um, and you're just mindlessly speaking. So the message is to be mindful of the words that you're speaking and make sure that they are positive. If you are going to speak anything into your life, make sure that it is positive. Words are very powerful. They're spells, they're spells that they carry the energy of creation. They carry the power uh, of creation. Sound is vibration. Sound is light. Sound is love. But it also can be darkness, and it also can be death. So be very careful about the words. If you're speaking to yourself, about others, in love, I have to be mindful about that myself, and I speak light in the love of light, in the light of light, to erase and to dissipate any negativity that I've said about myself, about others, about any situations in my life. So allow the light to just cleanse all the negativity, and to move forward. Um, I also want to speak about um, you know there are a lot of people that are uh, trying to hide, or trying to hinder the connection that we have with God, that are trying to keep the truth of who we are away from us, um, that are uh, working tirelessly to point us in the opposite direction of progression, of love, of light, of unity. They are working tirelessly. Um, and to my surprise, I really can't understand how is it that you could be so blind to the fact that God is the creator. They're so, like, when God created us, He created in us the truth within the core of our being. So how can you be so stupid? I never use the word stupid, but today it calls for the word. How can you be so stupid to go against God? How can you be so ignorant? And I like knowing that God is victory. You know, if if it wasn't, how, like, you don't fight against something to where you don't feel like you're already defeated. Because as a light worker, I don't feel like I'm fighting for God. I feel like I'm standing my ground. Like, I feel like I'm illuminating myself. I feel like I'm working with God. I feel like the victory is already ours. Like, we just need to stand. You know. But it just really blows my mind, and it's gonna get worse. That just because you're a small person in the large scheme of things doesn't mean that you know these people aren't watching you. Doesn't mean that, you know, maybe you're just really not aware. But just know that if you are working for God, and I'm not just talking about people that are speaking like, you know, issuing ways of healing, like with herbs, or, talking about, weed is the healing of the nation. I'm talking about people who are spreading the knowledge, the profound um, um, healing, releasing shackles of the mind via the Word of God, via you taking your life into your own hands in business, in company of God. I'm talking about the people that are speaking to release the mental shackles that people have, and really speaking truth about who we are in the kingdom of God. I'm talking about the people who are talking um, about, how powerful we are as individuals. I'm talking about shedding light on darkness. You know, trust me, they're not worried about you healing people with herbs, because that is you know, sickness is the byproduct of negative thoughts. So if you can clear your thoughts, if you can clear your life of the negative thoughts that you have, that is allowing people to hold the sickness, if you teach people how to liberate themselves through breath, through meditation, through word, through Christ, through life, through love, if you teach people that, we are ultimately all connected. So what you do to the other person, that other person is you. This is your universe. If you think of this universe as your universe, and everybody on this universe, on this planet, is working for your good as your robots, but they are you, you would treat people uh, much better, with compassion, with love, with understanding. You would know that this universe is not really trying to tear you down, but build you up. But then you have those people who have turned away from the light, and who have brought about these evil ways of being and thinking. And for some reason, we people have adapted to those things. And I really truly do believe that there is a pull, there is a nudge when we're participating in things that aren't uplifting to God and aren't uplifting to our spirits. There is a nudge. But the question is, are we listening, and do we know what it is? Do we know what it's for? I believe that there is a certain special people. I believe that we're all special in the eyes of God, but I do believe that God sent a good deal of people, maybe 144,000 of it. Who are we to know? But there are a good deal of people here to raise the vibration of this great universe. And there are a few people here to set things straight as far as justice. And I'm going to be honest and tell you that I believe that those people who are operating in darkness and tirelessly are trying to manipulate us, they know this. They know who we are. Because it's all numerical. They have it figured out. They're very intelligent people, and so are we. But at the end of the day, you cannot allow what's happening and what's going to happen to bring upon frustration, because that's disconnection from your light and from your love. So all you can really do is just continue to speak the word of God, continue to speak the truth, continue to share the truth in love and in light. I'm very pumped about uh, working for God. I'm very pumped. I'm pumped because there's a reason that they're trying to keep the truth from us. And of who we are, where we come from. There's a reason why they're trying to hide. And I want to encourage you guys to speak your truth. I want to encourage you guys to really continue to speak truth. Your truth. Continue to build up this light kingdom. Continue to share your light with your friends and your family. Even if they don't understand what you're talking about. Because the more we speak the truth, and we speak from our hearts, it's not the words that we're speaking. It's the emotion that is coming across. And the more we speak the truth, the more we act from our heart and speak the truth, the more we open our hearts. It's the emotion, it's the feeling, it's the vibration, it's not the words. The more we open here, then those people who don't understand the words that we are speaking will understand the feeling. They will understand the vibration. It's almost going back home. It's almost like, if God created you with a song in your heart, it's almost like hearing that song and that call home. Back to center, back to love, back to here. That's why music is so powerful. Because it's emotion, it's straight vibration. And I'm kind of tired of looking at my points. I'm kind of tired of they need food. They need to get on some fertilizer. I'm kind of tired of the constant harassment of these dark forces that are trying to take over. And so I think what I'm going to do, what I have chosen to do, is live absolutely from my heart. Live present. Live aware. Because there's nothing that can really hurt us. We choose. This is what we choose. Ultimately, we know that every situation is here to teach us something. It's not for pain. We don't have to go through pain to learn. We just have to be present and aware. And we just have to know that every situation is here for us to elevate. We do have to discern, of course. That's how we grow. That's how we learn. But allow your heart to discern. Allow your heart to know. If you're living in love, then you know when someone else is living in love. You don't need a book to tell you that. If you're living in love, then you know if you're treating other people in love and with compassion, then you know when someone else isn't treating you with love and compassion. So you're able to discern. You know what I'm saying? If you're living a life of anger and violence and you're judgmental, then ultimately you should know when someone else is not living like if someone else is living in love, because you're gonna feel some type of way. You're gonna feel weird about it. You're gonna be scared to open up your heart. You know. But as that person shows that the one that's angry or the one that's suffering. There's an air show. There's a Blue Angel air show at the Naval Air Station, a few miles up, and so they're practicing for this weekend, and he was just like right in my backyard. The Blue Angels. But yeah, man, I mean, the message is we just have to, we have to live authentically from our heart, and constantly work towards getting better, whether it's health and fitness, whether it's, you know, meditating more, whether it's just being joyful more often, whether it's just caring for people, whether it's being of service to people who need to be of service. You know, don't allow people that can do things for themselves take advantage of you. I think that's a big deal. You know, we are here to help those who need us. You know, those people who can't do anything for themselves, those people who are mentally ill, those people who are suffering, those people who need food, those people who need guidance and direction. And the only way we can do that is if we allow Spirit to guide and direct us, and if we are receptive to the financial abundance so that we can help other people. This is not just about us having, you know, a beautiful place, and this is about us having for ourselves and also being able to give to others. Even if it's not financial, you know, right now it's like the only thing that I really have to give to you is my love and my knowledge. You know, but I know that God is working so many things out for me and mine so that we can give and so that we can be positive role models. But I want to encourage you to set the intention to be happy. I want to encourage you to be happy. I want to encourage you to contact the happiness within you and contact that joy within you. I mean, it's you know, the first thing is really asking yourself what makes you joyful. What would make you feel joy? What will make you feel happiness? You know, and let it not be something that you can actually touch. Like, I would be happy if I had $1 million. What could you do right now that can make you contact your joy? Whether it be singing, whether it be drawing, whether it be, you know, skating, whether it be walking, you know, whether it be, you know, what is it? There is something. And most of the time, people are resistant to happiness and they don't really want to feel happy. And that's dark. You deserve happiness. You deserve joy. You deserve, you know, everything. You deserve everything. So stop feeling like a victim. Stop feeling down on yourself. And know that you're worthy. You get to a point to where everything that other people say about you, it shouldn't matter, because you should be growing to know who you are. I mean, that's part of life. It doesn't matter. Your kids are going to go through the same thing. You are going to have to go through the same thing. You know what I'm saying? I don't know if our parents went through the same thing or our grandparents went through the same thing, or if they weren't like aware that we're blessed because we're starting to see that this evolution, what this evolutionary process is, what evolving conscious is. Like, we actually are in the middle of it to where we can make the changes for ourselves for a better future. Hurt people hurt people. I'm going to continue to say that. And so, being and knowing that, you should be able to know that whatever people did to you, whatever they said to you to make you feel however you feel, it wasn't true. I mean, like, people can only see, you know, through their experience. People can only see um, through that level of consciousness. So if you're emotionalizing with what people have said about you, then you should know that you're on that same level of consciousness, and you need to elevate. I mean, that's it. If you're still bleeding from what someone said to you yesterday, so if you're still holding on to something that someone said to you 5 years ago, or if you're still holding on to something that someone said to you 30 years ago, meaning your level of consciousness hasn't changed at all, then there's some changes that need to be made. There's a lot of people that's holding on to things that didn't happen so many years ago. And I think it's very important to know that if you're still holding on to that, you haven't released anything, and that sickness is building up in your body. If you haven't allowed yourself to elevate, if you haven't even allowed yourself to, release, exercise, if you're constantly putting, let me tell you, and I think this is like my message. I love saying this, but it's like this: when you are in pain, when you feel hurt, you hurt yourself. You draw on more hurt. You're in pain. If you're in pain and you just feel like a victim, you draw on more victim situations. Because people, start to like pain because it feeds them, whether it's good or bad. If that's the only way they can eat, then they're gonna eat. It's like homeless people. If the only way they can eat is if they eat out of the trash, they're gonna eat. So, are you feeding yourself, good foods, or are you feeding yourself out of the trash? Whether, trash would be pain, whether it's hatred, violence, something where you can just eat, regardless of what it is. Spiritually, we need to eat. But, when you're in pain, usually when people are in pain or when they hurt, they smoke, they drink, they overeat, they hurt other people, they murder, they kill, they steal, they rape, they rob. And that's the level of consciousness. You cannot be elevated. You cannot be an evolving conscious, present, aware of your ability to evolve, and still have these habits. Most people want to quit smoking. Most people want to quit drinking. Most people, want to, change their lives, and all you really have to do is change your consciousness. But we enjoy those things because there's nothing else to replace it with. So, energy is neither created nor is it destroyed. So you have to find, it's like people who are used to sleeping all day. If you don't have anything to replace it with, you're gonna goddamn sleep all day. So if you have to draw, if you have to exercise, if you have to, paint, if you have to read a book, whatever you got to do, because once if you take something out, you have to put something in, and it better be positive. It better be on a on a higher conscious level than what you're releasing. No. So this is going out, this is coming in. This is going out, this is coming in. This is going out, this is coming in. You can't do this. That's not gonna work. I really want you guys, those who need, to share this video with your friends. I really do. And if you have a group of friends that would like to change in any way possible, from thinking negatively to thinking positively to, ridding themselves of addictions, ridding themselves of negativity, please email me at evolvingconscious@gmail.com, or just send me a message. Because I am here of service to you. And we need to get this show on the road. So until next time, blessings to you. Be